Salutations and welcome to the Rant Squad. I am the Water Dog. This is
Clint Jordan.
And this is
Mr. Perfect.
Oh man, mercy he is. Let's brag on you, brother.
Let's come on. Oh yeah. 6-0. Take me to Vegas.
That's right. He is the prediction king right now.
Well, hold on. You didn't go 6-0 against the spread. You can't take you to Vegas. We'll leave you here in Vider. Vider. There we go.
You don't have to always bet against the spread, though. You can bet straight up. I mean, it's for different money, but you can bet straight up.
All right. Gotcha.
But in any case, Brendan went 6-0 again last week, and he is currently first place in our standings at 19-5, and then me and Clint are 16-8. So that's kind
Not far.
of where we're at. We are just 3 games back, but he has been on fire. So let's face it. Let's face the music. I'm gonna give it to you again.
Oh, thank you. The great water dog. Thank you.
So let's do it. We're going to pick it. This is our 6-pack of pick'em games. Here we go. And we're going to start with, man, this is probably the game I think it's the second most game I'm probably going to watch. But I am definitely watching this game. This is Tampa Bay at Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you, I came really close when we were talking about our MVPs. Really close to taking Baker Mayfield.
He's been great. He's really good.
And I'm telling you, I was like, I think they're dangerous. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they're dangerous. But I have to stick with my original gut. I took the Falcons to win the division. I took the Falcons to be there. They have been in every game. They should have beat the Chiefs as far as I'm concerned. They're there. I think this is a team that's just loaded with talent, and I think once they figure out their secret sauce and they can get that going, I think they're gonna be okay. They're playing at home. This is really if you're talking about the first must-win game of the season for that division, this is the first true must-win game of the season because you don't want to go too behind Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so, you would fall 2-3, and they'd go to 4-1.
Yeah, and then they have the game win over you, so that's the other advantage that they've got. So you have got to win this game. I got to go Atlanta. Brendan, who you got?
Okay.
I tied with him! Me and Kelly, hold on. Let's talk about the real sad thing. He's got 2 perfect weeks, and we're only 3 games behind.
I've listened to y'all a couple of weeks here. With no reason. This past week.
My butt.
That sounds like high school girls.
Here we
go. Hey, follow me. We'll go 6-0 this week. So
whatever. I am 10-2 over the last 2 weeks. I don't want to hear it.
Still the first week.
All right,
you're 10-2 over the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so here we go. In this game, I was right about Tampa Bay last week. I thought they were just going to go air that ball out. Philly was not going to be able to run the ball. They were very one-dimensional, and I thought it worked that week. I think going to Atlanta, this team is not one-dimensional. Kirk Cousins has to show up in this game, though. He has to duel with Baker Mayfield. He has the weapons to do it. He has a team to do it. They're at home. Something tells me, give me the Atlanta Falcons to win a very close game. This is a shootout game.
What? I already had it written in, so no saying I stole anything. This was hard. I'll be honest, when I looked at the week, this was the hardest game for me to pick. It really was. And when it's that close, I just looked at things and I kind of took the approach you did. I said, who needs it more? And I was like, Tampa Bay, they win, they go to 4-1, they get that extra game up, and they have the division lead. And I had to go with the home team. The one caveat that worries me is Bijan showed up on the injury report, and I think if you're gonna beat Tampa Bay, you need all your weapons. You need to be able to have that 1-2 punch at running back because that's really where they have been able to come out. I look at all the teams with really strong 1-2 punches. I see the Lyons, I see the Seattle Seahawks, and I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I think Tyler Algier is a very good NFL runner. He would be a starter on half the teams in this league.
What about the rookie? Lucky Irving?
Oh, and Tampa has a good 1-2 punch too, but I don't think Tampa's one is anywhere near those other teams.
No.
And that's but I just see it as that they're able to keep the guys fresh, and the problem with Tampa Bay's 1-2 punch, they both got some slight injuries right now. But I think Atlanta, if they're healthy and they have that 1-2 punch running back at home, I think they're going to win this one.
All right, so we're all on board with Atlanta. We're now going to go to Carolina and Chicago. And, I think they made the right choice in putting Andy Dalton out there. And I think that Andy Dalton is, right now, playing pretty good football. I think the Panthers had a chance, they made that game a lot more competitive, because they had Andy Dalton there last week. And just something tells me I'm not buying Chicago. I haven't bought Chicago. I'm still not buying Chicago. And I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to beat Chicago. I'm taking the Panthers. That's what I got. Brandon, you got.
I think when you're really looking at this game, the Chicago Bears should win this game. There's a lot of hype with Caleb Williams. I think they have a very talented team, a great receiving corps, and everything. And I think when you just look at this game and where Carolina Panthers started, Andy Dalton has played really well since he's come in. I think he's a really good quarterback. But something just tells me the Carolina Panthers are going to win this game with Andy Dalton in Chicago. I think it's just kind of one of those. You have a gut feeling.
Yeah, I feel like it too. I'm saying
it's kind of like I think last year with the two quarterbacks going first and second, with Caleb Williams and J.D. Daniels, and we look at the year Daniels is having, and I think Caleb Williams is kind of in the same thing. He cannot throw that football away. I think he scrambles around too much, and to give it to Carolina Panthers in this game.
Well, I'm glad to know that y'all aren't going 6-0 this week. The Chicago Bears, I think, are going to win this game. I think you've got 2 games of tape on Andy Dalton. I think the backup coming in, surprise factor, burst of energy, I think that's over. I think the Bears have a really good defense.
They have a really good defense.
And that's why I think they'll win. I do not think this is going to be an offensive game whatsoever. I think this is going to be a defensive bath. DeAndre Swift finally had a breakout game as a Bear last week. They're getting Roshan Johnson the ball, so they're starting to find their 1-2 punch at running back. I like Chicago this week. I think that defense is going to. Andy Dalton's going to have at least 2 turnovers this week.
Really?
I think so.
I'm writing that down.
Really?
I'm putting
Well,
this
I
in.
tell you, if you
Andy
still
Dalton.
need film on Andy Dalton, he's played 13 years.
Yeah, well,
Like there's no more surprise.
but his game is different. It's different than it was 10 years ago.
Schematics and personnel always make
And it's also a new scheme. You got to find what's his favorite things to do in these schemes.
Yeah, well,
Deontay Johnson's a
Missing
little hurt.
Adam
No
Thielen,
Adam Thielen.
That will hurt them. Something tells me Chicago should win. Like I said, but I think Carolina's going to end up winning.
Hedging his bets there. You see
All right, here we go. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Baltimore at Cincinnati. I don't even really want to talk about this game too much, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Ravens are going to win, and the Bengals, who I said was not going to make the playoffs, are going to be 1-4. 1-4, Clinton. 1-4. I'm just pointing it out to you. Ravens. And to me, this is a 2-touchdown game. What you got?
In our previous game, we talked about this kind of the poetry, like first and second overall picks, and again this week is kind of like poetry. You went with me on one game and against me on the other. You're going against me on this one. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win this game.
Whoa, I'm not alone! I'm not alone! I got Mr. Perfect on my side!
Now I know people who aren't going 3-0.
But my reasoning for this, I think the Ravens have been running the ball very well. I think at a certain point, Joe Burrow is going to have enough of this. And he is going to go out there. I think they could have won that Commanders game, and I think it's going to be the same fire in this game. And I don't think Baltimore can throw the ball and keep up.
You just got through stating why the Bengals are going to lose this game. Because the Ravens can run the football, and Burrow's not going to get that many opportunities. Because the
Yes, he
defense
will.
for
Yes,
Cincinnati
he will.
is not that good.
Now, okay.
They have no defensive front, and even Clint's
No.
over here going,
Okay. You both thought that Philly was going to be able to do that to Tampa. And Tampa was able to throw the ball and run up the score. The Bengals will do the same in this game. And Zach Moss hasn't been that bad. He hasn't been Joe Mixon in the run game, but he hasn't been bad. And I think Cincinnati is going to throw this football.
There's nothing wrong with the offense.
Derrick Henry will not be able to run the way he did last week.
I don't think there's anything. Well, Derrick Henry has been scoring a touchdown every game.
He'll get a touchdown. What I'm saying is he will not get the volume.
He's not going to have 199 yards.
They will have to throw this football.
How often do you get two?
No, I know. I'm
Yeah.
just
Because Cincinnati, they're going to score a lot of points.
All right. How many points? I'm going to write this down.
If I had to just guess, 28 or 35. I don't know. That's
28 to 35
Yeah.
points.
That's what they're going to score.
Okay. 28
That's
to
a lot.
35 points.
I
Clint, who you got?
big players play big in big games.
Uh-huh.
And Joe Burrow plays big in big games. And Joe Burrow is going to go out there and win this game. He's not going to let this game fall.
Well, y'all just in love with this Joe Burrow guy. I tell you, man.
I am.
And to me, he had one season where he played like the Joe Burrow that everybody talks about. They went to the Super Bowl, and I have yet to see that Joe Burrow since.
Completely disagree.
I
The
know.
game against the Commanders, they didn't punt, I think, in that game. Really good game. The game against the Chiefs could have won that game outside pass interference call that was called.
Did they win that game against the Chiefs?
No, they lost it. But what I'm saying is, very winnable game. He's played good.
I've said he's played good. I even said that
Yeah.
in a previous episode, right? That he's played well, and I think the offense has played well. It's not really what concerns me with Cincinnati.
I agree.
It's the
But if
defense.
this gets in a shootout, what team are you taking?
Oh, if this gets to shit, I'm still going to take Baltimore because they can do the one thing that Cincinnati cannot stop, which is run the football. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to run the football.
All right.
We'll see.
All right, let's do it. Another big game. This is another good game to watch. This is going to be Buffalo at Houston. The battle of 3-1s, the battle of division leaders. They're playing in Houston, and I've been showing my concerns about the Houston Texans. I've been talking about it for a while. I just don't think they are as sharp as they were, going into the end of the season last year. This season, there just looks like some holes in there. I don't think that C.J. Stroud has played as sharp as he did last year. These last couple of games, he's been vulnerable. And Buffalo just had their hat handed to them. Just had it handed to them. And that's the best thing for a really good football team, because the next week after you've had your hat handed to you, you come out firing. I have got to take the Buffalo Bills. Brandon, who you got?
You were wrong on the last game, but I think you're right on this one.
Okay.
I think Buffalo's going to win this game. I think a very big thing would be if Mixon plays for Houston, because Houston cannot run the football unless he plays in this game. They have just shown that.
Well, I think they get away from it, because I think Cam Akers. I was watching Cam Akers play, and when they played against the Vikings, he was getting 4 yards a clip and stuff. Sometimes you abandon.
Not that often.
You abandon the run when you get behind.
But I don't think they have abandoned the run. They still go for it. They just can't run the ball because they're running on 1st and 10, getting the second 9. Running on 2nd and 9, getting the 3rd and 8.
And then they got to throw a little out route to Schultz to get the first to do it all over again.
I disagree. The run game has not. It has not been the
So
same.
do you think it's play? Do you think it's play calling then?
No, it's Joe Mixon.
No, it's
Do you
not.
just think it's sincerely just Joe?
I
Mixon?
really
Yes.
do. I really do.
I think Joe Mixon's that good. Go ask the Cincinnati Bengals how good he is.
Okay.
Okay, but my point is this. I agree with Buffalo last week. They're going to come out. They're going to be ready to play. I love the Houston Texans, but in this game, the Bills are going to win.
All right, Clinton.
I would have won. I really wanted to go Houston here. And had Buffalo won last week, I would have picked Houston. But you can't take. You just can't. After Buffalo just goes and has the loss that they had. And I've been voicing it since week 1 that my concern with Houston, it's not the offense, it's this back end, it's the secondary, and I think Josh Allen will possibly pick them apart. I disagree with that Stroud hasn't played as great. He's only thrown 1 pick, or 2. He's thrown 2. I don't count 1 hard to count. Well, whatever. He played a good game last week. Over 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. In my opinion, they dominated Jacksonville in the first half. They beat them in the 4th quarter. It was the 3rd quarter. That's the only quarter that Jacksonville really outplayed Houston. But I do think Houston, I think that they have the unfortunate scheduling of having to play Buffalo after that loss. I think that's the reason I've just got to go with Josh Allen. Maybe a little foreshadowing. Josh Allen's going to have a really big day.
Well, I have a concern with Houston when it comes to they just don't score points on drives like they were last year. They're getting, they're good. They've been really good in the middle of the field. It's been the last.
Once they cross the 40,
yeah. For whatever reason, the drives die. And I don't like. That's why I was asking earlier. Is it truly just the rushing game, or is it play calling?
No,
Because sometimes I do worry about the play calling, which I did not worry about last year. I thought last year the play calls were great. It was a little bit more inventive last year, I thought, than this year. This year, I think it's been a little bit more vanilla than it was last year.
But I think one thing you have to factor in is like last year, we're trying to do what we can to protect Stroud and maybe not put as much on him. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe they just slowly decided he was going to put too much on too fast, which I think he can handle it. I think he's played fine. I really do. I think the lack of the run game has just really hurt them since Joe Mixon went out.
The way that you can look at this, for everybody watching, do we question this about the Houston Texans when Joe Mixon was in the game? No. There was no running game problems. There was nothing. Because that first week against the Colts,
no, it's the best. I'm telling you, it's the secondary.
All right. I don't know, but I've been saying it since week 1. Every time we talk about the Texans game, I've been chiming in. I'm a little worried about it. But the crazy thing is they are 3-1.
Larry Tunsil's penalties. If you could just take that out of the game.
Well, the self-implosion, that does not help.
If you're supposed to be one of the best left tackles in the game, you can't do this.
No, the self-implode, they are shooting themselves in the foot.
If they do beat Buffalo, then I would truly say this is a team that can win, and they're truly in the Super Bowl bubble. Okay, and I've got them winning the division.
The one good. Hey, it's a Stephon Diggs revenge game.
I am prepared to go 5-1 now. 5-1 is a 6-0 to me.
I will take it.
All right, here we go. Las Vegas at Denver, and I really like this matchup. I think this is going to be a good game. And here's the crazy thing: both these teams are 2-2. Both these teams are 2-2. Both these teams can play defense. I really like Denver's defense a whole lot. And, it's one of them toss-up games. And once again, if I'm in a toss-up game and it's just, I'm looking at the home team and who do you think's going to ink it out more? I'm going to slide with Denver on this. This one, to me, this one's a toss-up. I really think it's a toss-up. So I'm going to go with Denver being at the home crowd. What you got?
I agree with you. I think when I looked at our list today, this was the hardest game to pick. For me, I think these teams are kind of the same. Right? Yeah, Denver has the rookie quarterback versus the Raiders have, I guess you can call them a veteran. They're really just kind of the same. I think Vegas not going to have any Devontae Adams could be a factor in this game. But like I said earlier, I thought they looked better kind of without him this past season, getting everybody else involved. I think the defenses on both sides are really good. But I think the Raiders have bought into this coach. And I think they are ready to just go out there. They're going to run the football. The defense is going to get after Bo Nix. I think the Raiders are going to win a really tight game in Denver.
Okay. Clint?
I'm on the Denver Broncos for all the same reasons you said, Kelly. They're a home team, but I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I don't like the Las Vegas Raiders defense. I think last week was the first week their defenses actually showed up, and which is funny because they didn't have Max Crosby. I just looked back at the Carolina game. It was bad for 3 quarters against the Ravens. It was bad, but Denver. I think Denver's defense. They are playing outstanding football. And they're the home team. I like Denver to be 3-2.
Hey, bro, we're making business decisions now. This is the 1-0 Raiders. This is new business Raiders.
All righty. This is the game I probably want to watch more than any other game because I think it's just going to have so many consequences when this one's all said and done. And that's Dallas at Pittsburgh. A rematch of Super Bowls 10, 13, and 30. Tell you how much I know my Super Bowl history, brother.
Oh, it's easy when you've been alive for all of them.
I know. When you've been alive to watch them all, there you go. Man, this is going to be a great matchup, and I think that, I picked the Steelers to make the playoffs. I picked the Cowboys to win the division. They're playing at home, and the Steelers have looked really good in 4 games, especially that defense. They have looked good in 4 games. The Cowboys, I just don't know what they're going to bring. I have no idea. Because to me, the only game that they looked really good in was the opener.
Yeah, against Cleveland.
That was
one of
the-
the worst offenses in the league. Yeah.
That is the only game where you sit there and you watch like, well, this looks like a thoroughbred team, right? That's the only. These last 3 games. I have not seen the same team since that week 1 game, and so man, I got to go with Pittsburgh. I've got to go with them, ride with them. Brendan, who you got?
I think this is probably my favorite rivalry. That's not really a rivalry, it's more of a Super Bowl rivalry. I think it's this game. I think it's a really close game. You said you watched all those Super Bowls. How did the Steelers win them in the 70s?
Well, they won it with defense, and they won it running the football.
Okay. So, you got the steel curtain in the 70s. And I think when you get into the 80s and 90s, they had a great defense. The Steelers defense, TJ Watt is going to add his name to those great Steelers defensive players against Dallas. Up there with the Mean Joe Greens and the Jack Lamberts, the Jack Hams, the Greg Lloyd was one of them. He's going to add his name to that list. And I will be interested to see if the Dallas Cowboys offense can show up. Because the Steelers offense is going to be limited. I think they will be. But the Pittsburgh Steelers will have 2 turnovers defensively in this game. They will get
They're
2
gonna force
turnovers.
2 turnovers.
Yes, they will force 2 turnovers in this game.
All right, Clint, who you got?
I think this is too big of a game. I've still got Dallas in the playoffs. I don't have Pittsburgh in the playoffs just yet. I think it's too big of a game. I think Dallas gets to 500, over 500, and they're gonna win. Oh God, it feels so gross saying it. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna go into Pittsburgh and they're gonna beat the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, and they're gonna be 3-2. God, give me a
I'd
bar
like to,
back.
in this moment, congratulate the Water Dog on becoming second in the standings coming into next week after that horrible pick by Mr. Clint Jordan.
Well, folks, that's all we got time for, brother. We appreciate you watching. We've been the Rant Squad. I'm the Water Dog. This is
Clint Jordan.
And this is
Perfect.
And we got out of here.